Hello students, I think you all are fine. So today I am going to tell you about causes of sports injury. Introduction. Injuries in sport happen as a result of external force from outside our body or internal force from inside our body. Injuries can be caused due to extrinsic factor or intrinsic factor. Extrinsic factors include aspects of training, exercise program, technique, equipment, teaching, surface upon which athletes are training on an environment. In external cause injury might involve someone bumping into you, impact on your body to cause a fracture or dislocation. The external environment also bring risk like dehydration in severe heart. Following are the external factors. First, coaching. Coaching is linked with incorrect techniques as you require a coach who knows about proper techniques and they can teach and guide you the correct techniques, because if you had a coach who has no or minimal knowledge of the sport, then they could teach you the wrong techniques from a young age, which could become difficult to adjust to the correct techniques. Our next point is incorrect techniques. Incorrect techniques can cause supporting injuries, and not only you could get in acute injury, but you could also be building up on a chronic injury. Having a repetitive action of the incorrect techniques could cause local tissue damage, which could be a severe injury when the injury has full developed into its worst state for the individual. Our next point is environmental factor. Environmental factor can cause sports injury, as an individual could only ever train in the sun and on a hard pitch, but say it can do game day and it is running with a muggy pitch or snowing. This individual is not going to be used to the condition, meaning that they could cause the individual to act differently, which could injury, or the individual could perform the same as they usually do, which could as well as positive have a negative impact on the individual performance and them causing a sporting injury for themselves. Our next point is improper clothing and footwear. Clothing and footwear can cause sporting injury. You must wear the correct clothing and footwear to have the minimum risk of injury. One should wear comfortable, loose fitting clothes that help in moving freely, and they should be light enough to release body heat. Our next point is improper warm up. It is very important to warm up and stretch before any athletic activity. Muscle cramps and pulls are often the result of jumping into an activity without properly easing the muscles into it. One should run in place for a few minutes, breathe slowly and deeply, or gently rehearse the motion of the exercise to follow. Warming up increase our heart and blood flow rates and loosening up other muscles, tendons, ligament and joints. It delivers blood and oxygen to the various muscles, allowing them to work more efficiently. Our next point is surface. Hard impacts are another culprit behind injuries. Hard surface cause a more severe impact on an athlete's feet, legs, hips, and back. Our next point is improper equipment. Improper or heavy equipment can cause lower back or arm pain. Fitting helmets and shoes may also cause injuries. Equipment should always be checked before practicing in a sport. Now let's begin with intrinsic factors. Are those that involve aspect of your physical makeup and number of biomechanical factors, flexibility, strength, leg length, difference, posture, foot shape, and movement during exercise, age, weight, or size, fitness levels, and others. Internally, sudden movements can tear and strain muscles, something that's also possible from overuse. Each sport has its own common injuries, and they are largely based on the physical demands of the sports. Following are the intrinsic factors. Our first point is nutrition. Nutrition can cause a sporting injury by a player not having enough energy and make by making silly mistakes that could lead to either them or someone else picking up injury or down to them not having the correct nutrients. Our next point is fitness level. Fitness level can cause a sporting injury because if someone has low fitness level, they will fatigue a lot quicker than if they had higher fitness level, with them becoming tired very quickly. They will make more mistakes which could lead to an injury. Our next point is age. Age could cause a sporting injury as an individual gets older due to their bone strength. You would not have a 70-year-old player rugby against a load of middle-aged men because the chances of the older individual coming out of the game with an acute injury due to the force of impact being too much for their bones to handle. Our next point is weight and size. Weight and size can cause a sporting injury because if an individual is overweight, they have additional stress put on their muscles, tendons, and organs. Therefore, even small movements can create large force. With little movement, create a large force. A player could get seriously injured when going in for a 50-50 chances in a football game. The player who weighs less will not have as much force to be put in as the other player and will come out with an injury. The other player could also come out with an injury as they have maybe put too much force into the tackle. Our next point is lack of proper rest. If a sports person continues to practice even after the onset of fatigue, she is likely to get injured. If proper rest is not taken, the player's strength, concentration, and reflection decrease. Therefore, the athlete is open to injury in such cases. Our next point is careless during sporting activities. Sometimes players lose concentration or coordination due to carelessness and commit mistakes during training or competition. This lack of caution results in injuries. Our next point is overuse. Overuse or repetitive movement is also one of the causes of sports injuries. Runners, swimmers, and tennis players are particularly susceptible to overuse injuries, including tennis elbow, tendinitis, and shoulder dislocation. Make your notes on regular basis and do revise previous chapters